Hello! Hi, my name is Morgan Cameron. I am a painter, an artist, try to do a bunch of different artistic things. Um, so I decided to do this little project. I don't know how many of these videos I will do. But I've had some friends who've done some amazing videos and with their talents and their skills, and they were really inspiring. So I decided to go ahead and try one myself. So, for those who don't know me, I have been painting, drawing, etc. my whole life. And I went to school for art, but I never graduated. I ended up getting married and moving from Maine to New Orleans, and then to Virginia, then to New Jersey/New York, and now I'm back in Maine. Yay! This is where my husband and I grew up, and we want to raise a family and be close to our family, but because have been so many changes along the way, I just thought I should put experiences in a video and talk about how to be an artist throughout your life and how to grow and experience different things. Since I never graduated as an artist, I just went off freelance and did art on my own, and I had so many questions, and I was just really starting from scratch and from nothing. I had no idea how to make it a business, how to do it like legally with the whole taxes and stuff, and I just kind of went for things, and I've been making it work over the years, but I didn't have much for guidance, and so I thought maybe I should throw a video out or a few videos out and talk about some of those things to possibly help other artists, but also connect on social media and help connect me to people more. So yeah, this is the first video, hopefully, of many. We'll see how it goes. Also, I want to throw out there that this computer camera is very delayed, so I see clips of what I'm saying several moments after I say it, so sorry if the transition is a little awkward. So the first thing I want to talk about is studio space. Whatever your art or your craft is, having a positive space to work in is really important. Through all our different moves, I've lived in multiple apartments, and now we finally have a house of our own. So this is the first time I've ever had a real art room studio space, which is amazing. I'm so happy. But before this, I was basically working in my living room corners, like just setting up a tiny corner in the living room, set up all my craft stuff in my bedroom, and like we had a spare room that was just full of, like, everything was just all over the place and so disorganized, and I've worked like that for years. But no matter how small your space is, you can always make it work enough for you that you can find yourself being creative in a tiny, cramped little space, if you organize it well. And like the most important thing out of all the spaces I've ever had, like, you need, especially if you're a painter, you need good lighting. I didn't have any professional lights at all for so many years. I now have 3 really nice little lamp lights, which have been such a game changer, because once it would get dark, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't paint at all. Luckily, I had multiple creative things I could do. One of the art things I do, besides painting, is I make handcrafted costume pieces, and I just started doing some wood burning, and I play music, so I'll have another video about having an array of multiple creative things to keep your keep your sanity, especially in the winter when it gets dark really early. Everywhere I went, I made sure that I picked the sunniest, brightest place in the room. Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked. I don't know if any painters will be watching these videos, hopefully, because that's kind of what they're for, is to help people help artists with anything I can give you. If I have any knowledge that can help, that would be worth it. So this is my setup that I always have. I have my chair. I am not a painter who's paints standing up very often. I do like doing that, but I don't, because I'm cheap. I haven't bought a really high table, and I use my laptop to display the images that I'm referencing for my paintings. So it's usually down on a coffee table or even on my lap, and I'm painting over it or looking at it and painting. So I have my chair, and as you can see, that I have this really nice, comfy chair to sit in. A little settee, little Victorian settee. And I've got my blanket and my pillow because I just like surrounding myself in comfort while I paint. Here's my easel. It's facing away from my chair right now because I was taking a picture of the painting I was doing on it. As you can see, so I have a little table. Even though I have this nice studio space, I am in the habit of years of crowding myself. And so I need to sort that out. But right now it works for me. I've got this little table. It's got my paintbrushes and my paints on it. And on the other side, let's see if I can get you over there. I have another little table that holds my palette or my laptop. All sorts of things like that. So this would be this way. There goes my painting. It's fine. It landed the other way and it's dry. So there. That's kind of what my little setup looks like. I know a lot of artists, depending on your personality, need more organization, but so many artists I know, like, they don't. They're chaotic. They're messy. It's just what we do. Y'all know. You know how it is. So this studio room is great because I have really big windows there that let in a lot of light, and I've got windows behind me there. I have my curtains up. My curtains closed right now because even though the lighting is great, it casts glare while I paint. Like on this painting. Yeah, my little pet portrait painting, my most recent one. It's a commission. So I have those closed because glare makes a huge difference. If you work with oils, I'm sure acrylics the same way. The little glare, the lighting changes everything. I didn't until a few months ago. It was this last Christmas actually, and it's July now. Because I have such wonderful parents, and like I said, I'm cheap. They got me these wonderful lights. They are Emart lights, Emart brand, and the natural light bulbs. Let's see what it says. AC, 110 volt, I guess, 15W, 5500K. That's what it says on the light bulb. I'm awful with brands and with like that kind of information. So I don't even know what it means. Yeah, not very helpful. But these Emart lights are great. Let's do a little quickie. It's gonna be bright. Woo! So it goes from that to that. Makes a huge difference. It's blinding me. I'll turn that off. So your lighting is so important no matter what kind of studio space you have. I have a great example, and if I figure out how to use iMovie and put a picture up, I'll put a side-by-side. Because I did a painting once. I didn't have these lights yet, and I was using, it was at nighttime in the winter, and so I had lamp lights and my overhead lights. And those were so warm that my painting, while I was painting it, looked natural. It looked exactly the way I wanted it. And then in the daylight, it was so cold. It's because without knowing it, I overemphasized, I just naturally painted it colder because the lights were so warm that it made it look right, but it's really you're painting it cold to compensate for the extra warmth going on there. It's so important to have good lighting. Obviously, it's the same
if you had cold lighting, you're going to paint warmer to make up for it without realizing it. If you have really bright lights, you're going to paint dark. Opposite, same thing. So do yourself a favor, invest in lights. They're expensive, but they're not outrageous. I mean, these are, I have no idea. I didn't buy them. I'll find out for you. But I don't think these were more like the three. It comes with a set of three. They had interchangeable lights. They had the white umbrellas that come with it, which are great for taking photos if you have other products other than paintings. I'll talk about photography in another video. That's a good one. Like my little handcrafted costume pieces displayed, the little umbrellas make it great. These had warm and cold lights you could interchange, like little caps for these. So they're good, and like they were less than $200. Just put it out there.
So to wrap up my little video here, I'm just going to take you over to a little tour of my studio, my new studio, because it's so special to me. I mentioned that I make little handcrafted costume pieces, and that I had my painting stuff in the living room of our old apartment, and all my costume crafty stuff in our bedroom. It was taking over the entire room. It was ridiculous. So now, little organizing space here. Makes me so happy. My little light was telling me that. Got my crafty table there. And all my stuff underneath it. I use every inch of my studio. This guy, this great little organizer here for whatever your craft or your product may be. This guy, I think it's made for like organizing shoes, typically. Something just fell. And I've got all my little pirate hats and my little costume crowns in there. That's great. I've got my little friend, my leather braided dragon. Someone at an art market had a booth down the street from me, and they liked a painting that I did, and I liked their dragon, so they paid me a little money and traded me a dragon for a painting. So he's hanging out. He's cool. Got my own art on the wall, an older painting that I held on to. I've got my little corner, my little painting corner, which I showed you before. There it is, nice and cozy. My windows, because my dad is a carpenter and so wonderful, he made me this organizer. So if you need a place to store your paintings, that was a big problem for me too. I would paint, and I had so many canvases, and I didn't know what to do with them. Like I just leaned them up against the walls. I hung them up, leaning on top of each other. It was awful. So this really easy little DIY organizer was great. All it is wooden dowels, and then these, he made, whoops, I'm doing the camera wrong. He made these little boards with the holes in them to fit the dowels, and then so I can take them out and reorganize it. I had it horizontal before, so all my paintings were laying like this and organized this way, and now I'm trying it vertical and putting them in the slots, and I tend to like that better. They're not sitting on top of each other. So there's that. I highly recommend it for painters to put all your canvases in, paintings that are, I put all my canvases, the incomplete paintings and the complete paintings that I'm about to ship off to the gallery, all in there. And he also built me one of these. It's a little V-shaped organizer. You can buy these things on Amazon. God, I don't know what they're called. This is not very helpful. But you put prints in them typically, and a lot of times they're metal with like little canvas pouches, and they just go in a little V shape like that, and then you stick your prints in it for. You can see them all the time at art markets. Artists will have those. But he made me these nice wooden ones, they're nice and sturdy. So I put all my old paintings in it right now, all my old canvases. That as an artist, you constantly grow. So you have all these old paintings that at one time you thought were good or you liked. And now you look at them and you're like, oh good, there's nothing what I do now. So what do I do with these? I'm not going to display them at an art market, and I'm not going to send them to a gallery. So that's my pile.
of old paintings that I will give away to friends. Some have already come and claimed some, so that's great. I've got this nice other little display easel. I've got my little wolf painting on it, my little canyon wolf. That's going to the gallery soon. Gotta varnish that guy and frame it. And then I've got a coffee table over here, and this has, oh, here's another one of those little V organizers. And it does have my prints in it. Some prints and some actual physical paintings, like one in the front there. Great for your art market booth. I'll do a whole video on art market stuff. Got watercolor storage in here. I've got framed prints in there. I've got my little painted watercolor cards in here. This cute little box. Packing stuff. Yeah, all sorts of good stuff. A lot of good vibes in this room. I really, really love it. And I love the color. So yeah, fill your studio space with lots of happy vibes. Make it however you want. Just make sure it's something you like, because you're going to be spending as an artist countless hours, some very excruciating hours in your studio space. You're going to be growing constantly, and you're going to have some great ups, and you're going to have some very low lows thinking, why am I doing this? Just keep going. So you want to make your studio a very happy, positive place to spend all that time. So that's it for video 1. Yay! So it was mostly an intro video. I didn't talk too much about stuff, useful things. But hopefully there was a little bit of information in there that was helpful, and you want to come back next time. Alright, we'll see you soon.